everyone, my name is Nexos Cita, and it is so lovely to see you today. I am here to talk to you about Gene Stealer Cults. Now, I understand that I may have been gone for a little bit. As it stands right now, to kind of fill you guys in and pull back the curtain a little bit, I've actually been helping prep for WTC, the World Teams Championships. And when I was going into it this year, I assumed that I would be helping out just my main country, Team USA, in terms of learning everything I can about GSC, finding them the data they need in terms of do we need to build or not. But in terms of all of the work I've done, it's actually been multiple nations that I'm very proud to have actually been able to help out. But with that being said, holy fuck, it's been a lot of work. So I apologize for being gone. I'm going to start to try and put more videos out, and we're kind of going to get a little caught up. So for today, I want to kind of, give the easiest one-to-one on what I've been doing for all of these nations and kind of give back a little bit. And this is going to be a video that is fully based on giving you guys a list, an army list to use and play that works with each detachment, right? Each of the main detachments, right? So Brood Brothers, Swarm Host, Biosynctic, Xeno Krieg, Outlander Claw, Final Day, right? All of those. Mingled in with them, of course, will be the various different one-point detachments. I'm actually not going to go over PXH in this video specifically today, just because I think that that kind of requires its own video to like fully break down, and I want to talk about that at a later time. But I've kind of been rambling a lot right now, so let's just go ahead and get into the video. Cool? Great. Fantastic. Roll that intro, baby. Woo!
Hi, Editor Floof here for 2 seconds. Just coming in. The video is about giving you a bunch of lists. It felt weird when editing them to just put a list over a green screen scene. So it's just going to be at the end, you will see all the lists. So the whole video will be me describing the list, going over it, what it wants to do, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end, it will just go after the credit scene. So at the very end is when we'll actually have the actual list if you just want to copy paste them. I would still say that a lot of the premise of this video, though, is saying, like, this is a starting point. If you ever want to make any changes, go for it. Do it. You don't have to take this one for one. Anyways, back to the video. Bye.
Now, we're going to start off with kind of my main shtick, right? The big honcho that I started with all these years ago, and that's Swarm Host. Now, because I know it's a bit of a skew build, I'm going to be giving you two lists for Hosts of Ascension. I know. I'm so amazing. You love me so much. I know I'm so great. So here's my thing. I think that how Swarm Host was before was it had taken a lot of points hits, and it kind of wanted to overwhelm your opponent in all of the bodies that it could drop on the board, right? But with all the points hikes, that was getting really tight. However, thanks to the recent data slate, we actually got a huge benefit with the 20-mans and neophytes dropping in points, the 10-mans for Flacos and metas dropping down as well, bikes going down. So this is going to be a list that fully takes advantage of it. Once again, I will let you know, this is my style of list. This list is very extreme in how it plays. Thusly, it will not be for everyone. This list doesn't have to be for you. You don't need to force it. The reason being is going into this list, we're going to be starting off with, well, 3 squads of neophytes, 3 20s, all attached to Benefacti. And I hear the more veteran, enjoyers of the channel go, Floof, that's actually pretty relaxed for you. Shut up, I'm not done with the neophytes. We're going for 2 squads of neophytes with the Acolyte Icon wards to give them a 5-up Feel No Pain. This is going to work very well because Host of Ascension is our only 3 detachment point detachment. And thusly we are stuck on the disposition, but that disposition is taken hold. And so by kind of shifting Swarm Host a little bit to be a more durable horde skew, we can kind of, get where we need to be. And then, so that's going to set us to 100 neophytes, but I'm not done yet. We're still going to be adding in the Nexos, and the Nexos is going to have a flaw in the armor, the enhancement that gives lethal hits when it drops down. because I want to just kind of, pop this guy around, right? So we're going to have 80 neophytes that are attached to characters that give them lethal hits, and then 40 neophytes that are all, with a 5-up feel no pain. And we want to bog down the board, right? But the thing is that we still do need to play the mission, okay? So we are going to have a little bit of, mission play there. As well, I would like a little bit of melee backup. Not the most intense melee, because it is a little costly, let's say. There is a variant I was playing with to where you could then also, on top of this, throw in 10 Aberrants with an Abominant and Biophages attached. But that's a real pricey thing. We'll get to that in a second, though. For this one, we're going to be adding in a squad of 5 tacos. They're going to sit on the home point. They're going to farm a CP, okay? Then we're going to throw in 2 squads of Flacos. Now, the Flacos are just going to be big flamer bombs that can still also finish some guys off in melee, but as well, they give a good amount of Overwatch threat. And so it's this thing to where we're probably at some point in the game putting like 60 to 80 neophytes on our central points, and then dropping like 10 to 20 Flacos, doing a bunch of damage, impacting everywhere we can, and then going, all right, big dog, like move forward towards me. I get a free Overwatch, right? I get something that like is going to be very good when you try and take me off these points. We do need a little bit more mission play, however. We are going to be going with 2 squads of bikes. I think them going down to 85 points, I'm back to being comfortable taking them in my list now, and they slot in perfectly here. They're also going to be accompanied with 2 Achilles Ridge Runners. I almost want the 3rd Ridge Runner in here, but the meta is very greedy right now, and GSC doesn't need help into the non-greedy lists. Like if you're like MSU Drukhari or Sisters, we just kind of shuffle you off the board as it is right now. And so when it comes to like Grey Knights or Custodes or these very durable thick bricks, we're only killing 1 to 2 units a turn, right? So we don't really need the 3rd runner. It's nice, but eh. And then lastly, just a quick mention here, I want to take a truck. I really do like the trucks for 75 points. The thing is them being the same points as 5 metas, 5 pure strains, and 5 Flacos. It starts to get to this point to where you can start to bring in this package more to where instead of a 5-man over here, I'm going to bring in, a nice transport. Reason being is that a lot of times to counterplay the Flacos, your opponent can just be like, here are my 5 scouts on the point. They're going to take you off, and then my aggressors or whatever fucking shooting unit is going to be off the point, but it's going to kill you. And then when you try and kill me, I'm not standing on the point, you don't get twin linked. Haha. Well, the truck also is going to hold 10 Flacos. That's spoiler alert from the get-go. And that's also going to help with aggressive matchups, right? If my opponent runs a big army at me and is just like, I'm just going to disrespect you, I'm probably going to start with 60 neophytes on the board, get a bunch of shooting in that way, and then the truck will roll up, shoot something, and give all the Flacos that pop out of it all these rerolls on the flamers. So it doesn't matter if they're on the point or not. I'm gonna make sure I'm redundantly getting that twin linked. So overall, pretty nice list, right? Floof, please, God, stop giving us 100 neophyte lists. I hear you. Listen, I understand. We're gonna go with something a little bit more relaxed, okay? Hear me out, I get it. I am, however, going to do something that is slightly, we're still going to be in the variety of a billion neophytes, okay? We're going to be at 80 here, and it's going to be with 3 Bene Neos squads, and then the 4th one isn't going to be the Nexos squad. It's actually going to be an Icon Ward squad with a Prowling Adjutant, our reactive move. It feels nice. I don't know, I just kind of had the points, and I said, fuck it. We're going to be bringing the 5 tacos as per usual. We're actually going down to 10 and 5 of the Flacos. We're still bringing in 2 Ridge Runners. We're still bringing in 2 bikes. The big thing here is that aforementioned squad. An Abominant with a Biophages attached to 10 Aberrants at the same time. Because with the Biophages getting support, she can now go ahead and join the Abominant. Abominant gets that access to +1 to wound against infantry and lethal hits on their attacks. And the Biophages, funnily enough, gets access to the fight on death, right? It's very, very cool. So the main premise of this, I'm thinking with taking hold, is putting these 20 neophytes on the center point. Honestly, I would have loved for this to have been with Xeno Cult Masses so I can give them the disguises, so they're -3 detection inch range, but it's fine. We have these 20 neophytes in the center, and then behind them are going to be the Aberrants. And the Aberrants' whole role is our time is nigh is +2 to a charge roll. That includes heroic. So if you're going into certain matchups and it's these, big double melee bricks or whatever the hell, you can do it to where you screen with these feel no pain neophytes. And then if they go ahead and charge those neophytes, you go, cool, I'm going to heroic, I'm going to swing to this side here, and I'm just going to go beat the hell out of you, right? And so it's very difficult for some armies to, walk into this and try and stop the GSC army from taking holding, right? Which is so weird to think about. We're an army of T3 bodies with 5-up armor, but turns out when you revive about 20 guys a turn and everyone's OC2 and you don't have enough bullets to kill everyone, we do tend to take points and kind of hold points. It's very weird. I still don't like it. The host should be too. All right, now moving on. I know that the next detachment I'm going to bring up is like the most out there awkward detachment to some people sometimes. It's definitely the one that requires the most investment to learn. I think there's the world to where you can call yourself a GSC specialist, and then there's the world to where you can call yourself a Final Day specialist. And while I like to think I'm very good at Final Day, I still have a hairline, so I'm not like McDougal to where I have just only been playing it for the past 3 years. Great guy, by the way. All love. I would like to say that Final Day is the one detachment in GSC to where you really can bring whatever the fuck you want. And it's like, that is both a great thing and a terrible thing, right? Because once you expose yourself to too many options, then you're in this thing to where, well, what really is the best, right? And it becomes this thing to where it's very hard to tell in Final Day what exactly is worth it. I am going to give you something to where this is a list that I would like to take. I don't like to take very melee heavy variants of Final Day. I like to make it to where only my Tyrannid side has melee. That being said, however, there are still like units that are cheap enough and are cute enough that I'm just like, fuck it, you're in, right? So, to start off, I'm going to keep funny little tech pieces in here, so just follow along, okay? We're starting off with a solo Abominant. Solo Abominant, to me, has always been something to where, hey, you might not have the +1 attack from Biosynctic, but oftentimes you are +1 to hit and have access to Twin Link to kind of really help punch through. I've had this guy knock out a Demon Prince, a Nurgle Demon Prince, which was insane. He's a cute tech piece, and oftentimes you want to put him up in Deep Strike and have this single 40 mil just land and cause havoc wherever he's running. It's very funny, but anyways, I digress. Next up, we will be going to 2 Neo squads, both of which led by Benefecti, one of which is also going to be supported by a Nexos, and they have the sustained hits enhancement, where if an enemy unit is within 6 inches of a Tyrannid, you also get sustained hits against them. I don't know if I mentioned this at the start, but this is going to be with the Xeno Cult Masses detachment as well, so we're having access to 1 CP full hit rerolls, +1 to hit from being near Tyranids, possibly. This is going to be a unit that has access to Uppy Downy and, sustained, lethal, full hit rerolls. It's also pretty damn good in Overwatch. You're not rerolling hits, but 6s are pretty valuable for you in this detachment. This unit does a lot of damage. Now, we only have one other Neo squad that is attached to a Benefactus, so weirdly enough for me, it is kind of light on shooting. But I wanted to make this more mid-ranged. There's a lot of lists where I just kind of default to 60 neophytes and 3 Benefacti, and I don't want to do that because I know someone at home is just like, hey Floof, I'd really like it if you could find fucking literally anything else. Moving on. Okay, we got the Patriarch with the no Overwatch enhancement attached to an amount of pures. I believe it's 10. I might be wrong. Editor Floof will fix that up. This guy is just a threat. He's something that your opponent always has to, keep in the back of their minds, that this guy cannot be interacted with on their turn at all, outside of heroics, of course. But them not being able, I know, moving my mic during a live recording, it makes so much sense. Being able to ignore Overwatch and just always take their pound of flesh is very scary. And it almost made me want to throw in a Shanktus in here as well, to just have 2, possibly even 3 units that can do that. Kind of, roll, but we're gonna hold off for a hot second, okay? Now, to finish out the GSC side of things, we do have 2 Ridge Runners, of course. That's kind of the standard in most of my lists. That's where I feel most comfortable. We're going to go into more melee variants later on to where I think I only have one in like the Biosynctic build, but I digress. 2 squads of bikes, once again, 85 points, very solid, do great things. And also, weirdly enough, a Rockgrinder here. 120 points. This unit just feels very good for what it does. Toughness 12, 10 wounds, it's decently durable. I believe it only has the 3-up, which is but like, it's durable for us, okay? It's durable for us. And this thing is like 8 attacks at 10-2-2, I want to say. Yeah, I believe so. With access to Twin Linked or the +1 to hit, like this thing trucks. And you know, the mining laser, very great. We allow it to ignore cover if we're tagging stuff. It having blast can help us really, it helps us a lot in like elite matchups to where, you know, there's like 10 chosen or 10 possessed or whatever the fuck, just standing there and you go, hey buddy, D3 blast mining laser shots, pick up 3 to 4 of your guys. It does good work. So I very much like it. You can run it with the clearance incinerator. I don't super think we need that, but I digress. Moving on. Now, over to the Tyranid side of this list, we have the Death Leaper. Starting out, I know that right now he's the same points as a Neurolictor, and there's like a good reason to take the Neuros instead. They're a lot easier to hide, as well as just, you know, I actually don't know. I just like Deathy. I think Deathy fucking, first off, fucking looks cool. This is a sick model, but also just, it's the same amount of points. Yes, I don't have the big 12-inch, you know, take a battle shock, fuck you. But him just being able, you know, if you're low starting strength, it's just, it feels very nice. And also just being damage too. I've had him do very good work. So I think Deathy's a mainstay. I've got 2 squads of hyper adapted Raveners. These guys just make the detachment work. This is, you play this detachment because you want to play with this unit. This is a good unit. You rapid ingress with the unit, and then you say, fuck you, dude, I'm killing you. I've had it to where I have rapid ingressed with a bunch of stuff all in one turn to where, you know, Abominate rapid ingresses, and then 5 hyper adapted Raveners rapid ingress, and then I bring like 2 to 3 things in on a cult icon, and I'm like, hey dog, at the end of your movement phase, I just moved about 800 points worth of models. Great job. Yeah, overall, this unit's great. It's good melee. It's a character. It's synapse. It's gonna be up in the fray, so it's giving that +1 to hit aura. It's good. It's good. Take it. It's good. We don't need to make it a big thing. Moving on, Lictor. Also, hey, guess what? Good. Moving on. To the 2 units I do want to talk about. The Red Terror. Listen, we all know the Red Terror is good. The Red Terror is fucking uninteractable, okay? The only time, if you are playing the Red Terror correctly, the only time your opponent should ever be able to do damage to the Red Terror is when they go to Overwatch it. And you want to know what you do when they Overwatch you? Go, great, Synapse, I eat a couple guys, I heal the Red Terror. That's so good. He is unkillable. So overall, Red Terror, just play with him a bit. Just always drop him, always pick him back up, play with Catalyst, go for dumb 9-inch charges into like their one lone op character, and just hit it. More than likely, he's gonna pick up that fucking combi lieutenant and then be like, bye dog, I'm out. Right? Now, we've got about 110 points to fit into this list. 110 points is sometimes awkward for GSC. It gets real weird sometimes at 110 points. You wanna know what's not weird? Come here. Walk towards me real quick. Von fucking Ryans. I feel so gaslit every time someone tries to tell me this unit is bad. It's 6 attacks each, dog. It's 36 attacks. They move 10. They have an invuln. They're naturally stealth. Fights first. They're just good, and they're 55 points for 3. What the fuck are we doing? This unit's so... I'm almost at the point where I'm like, dog, 18 Von Ryans. That's 310 points. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's the same as 12 hyper adapted squads. What? Is that actually? Yeah, 165, that's 330, and 330 for... Dog, for 660, you can get 10 hypers and and 18 Von Ryans? Basically everything has like fucking loan op nowadays anyway, so this is just 55 points for like a better Lictor essentially, because it's more wounds, it's more bodies, it's more attacks, it's damage 1 instead of 2, but fuck it, dog. 55 points? I'm honestly probably, you know what, this Lictor that's in here, fuck this Lictor. 3 more Von Ryans, there you go. No, you might need him for the Rapid Ingress. Leave the Lictor in, but let him know that he's on short notice. Anyways, we gotta keep it moving. I talked way too long about Final Day. It's good list. Put in stuff that you like, take out stuff in this list that you didn't like, play with it around. Be careful with GSC melee. There's this thing called Interrupt, and there's this thing called Heroic that gives fights first. And if they kill either the GSC or the Tyranid side of your little melee, and they're both in there, you get real sad real quick. So that's my one caution in the wind if you want to make edits to this list, but by all means go for it. There's a lot of people that make Final Day work, not just me. Hey buddy, I just want to let you know, I understand that I've given you a good couple lists, right? They're fun, and you go, oh man, there's still like a lot of bodies here, right? I know that you might not want to play a Horde faction, but that's what this faction is. We're here to play a Horde faction. Lock the fuck in. We're talking about Brood Brothers. I'm cursing a lot this video. I'm sorry. I'm really trying to get better at it. So, Brood Brothers. This, once again, with Xeno Creed. I know a lot of it is with Xeno Creed. I really like Neophytes. We're going to change it up a little bit later. Kind of. For right now, Brood Brothers. I'm going to be so real. I see people walking around being like, oh, Hellhounds. Ooh, Baneblades. Don't. Ooh, my Doomhammers. Don't. Ooh, my Shadow Sword. Don't. There is one way to play this faction. Yes, I'm saying faction. It's its own fucking thing, okay? Yes, you could spend time, you could spend a couple months and be like, where are we? And we'll run a couple bikes, we'll run some Aquilins, we'll run Hellhounds, we'll run Mortars, we'll maybe run a tank, we'll run a bunch of Neophytes, and pew, 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 and here's like my 12,000 IQ list that this will just be better in Final Day. Or we be men and women and non-binaries, okay? I'll get stanced up for you here. There is only one real... Oh god, this is so terrible. There's only one real way to play this faction, okay? The list is real simple. We're running 4 different data sheets, okay? We're running 120 Neophytes. 3 of them are going to be attached to Beneficti. We are running 120 Krieg, okay? Plasmas, Meltas, Medipacks. We are running 10 of the Cadian Recon guys. That's the list. There might be one guy with Firepoint. It doesn't fucking matter. Put 240... God. Oh. That sucked. Put 240 bodies on the board and say, I'm buying back at least 6 of these. I don't give a heck about my other 4 resurgence points. It doesn't matter. And you just hold the point. Just hold the point, dog. And then you laugh at your friend because he brought las cannons. That's a dumb decision. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to now move to our more... I think this one is going to be our more widely accepted detachment, or at least the one that people go to at first. I think it's the friendlier one for also people just starting out in the army, because it shores up a lot of the scarier things in 11th edition, which is failing charges. This is going to be Biosynctic Brood Surge, once again, and I know, say hello on board, Xenocrete, Xenocult Masses. There was a list I wanted to work with Heroes of the Uprising. I think there's like a very scary melee list in here to where you run like 30 Pures, a bunch of Aberrants, and then you have like 2 to 3 Shanktus that are just like stabbing out the characters and making it extra hard for your opponent to handle, you know, killing these Aberrants, but we'll figure that out later. Right now, I made a greedier version of Tucker's list. Tucker Ricky, Art of War guy, I really do respect him. If ever you want a second take on GSC, and I'm not around and Innes isn't around, I would say defer to Tucker. Our list is going to be starting off with an Abominant, with a Biophagus, with predatory instincts, so they're going to be able to infiltrate, attached to 10 Aberrants. Okay, we have another 10 Aberrant squad that has the Alien Majesty one, the one to where it's a -1 OC, right? That's just only going to be the Abominant with 10 Aberrants. I kind of wanted to fit another Biophagus in there. It's a little awkward. I'm going to show you in a second. We're real dense on points, to the point to where we probably should break some stuff up. We'll talk about that in a second. We got 2 Bene Neos squads here, okay? This is 2 big bricks of neophytes with Beneficti. They're good, they're great. I love them to death. They shoot, they get full hit rerolls. It allows you to be relevant in the shooting phase, which can weaken up stuff for you to then charge, right? Being a mono phase in any style always has major downfalls, and being able to make Biosynctic one of the best melee detachments kind of in the game right now, be more than just mono-phased is genuinely really, really good. So I digress though. We're going to put Parry, the Patriarch, with the Biomorph, the whole +1 AP, +1 damage enhancement. You do not play this detachment without that enhancement. The Patriarch with this enhancement is fucking insane. With 10 Pure Strains. Okay, so we got, hey, look at that, 50 attacks that are all dev wounds and possibly +1 to wound, and then the Patriarch is 6 attacks on 2s with AP 3 damage, 3 twin linked dev wounds. There's just death damage. It kills you to death. Boom, damn, you're dead. Moving on, and hear me out. This is where it's weird, okay? And this is like, okay, honestly, it's weird with the second Neophyte squad, but I wanted a second one. We're in Take and Hold, so I have always felt that Take and Hold can be a bit greedier with what it does. We don't have nearly as much mission play. I brought in a Primus with a Biophagus with 10 Tool Acolytes, specifically because we have a lot of damage 2 with the Aberrants. We have a lot of damage 1 with the Pure Strain squad. I'm kind of fine, having this nice, not durable, I was almost about to say durable, very lethal squad that is going to be able to pump out a bunch of damage 3 stuff to handle, more elite armies. Now, your points basically only ever let you buy 10 Pure Strains and 10 Tacos back, or, 20 Neophytes and 10 Tacos, but you do the Pure Strains and you do the Tacos. That's real awkward, dog. That's real awkward, I won't lie. More than likely, I will say, because, maybe if we could take a step back, be a little bit more calm, be a little bit more understanding, maybe we say, hey, dog, only 1 Bene Neophyte squad, and then you break this up into some Flacos, maybe a Saboteur. I would say if, being so durable, because the rest of the list is a truck and 2 Ridge Runners, right? If you're worried about this being too dense, I would say drop the Bene Neophyte squad. That's 75 and 135, so that's what, a 60, 65, and a 75, right? I would say get a Shanktus, get 5 Flacos, and then either a Kellamorph, you could grab the Magus as well. Maybe even the Jackal Alphas, just to have a quick little scouting unit. This list is meant to just say, I'm winning the primary game and we'll figure out secondaries later. I'll be fully honest, but I think that's a game plan that's viable. I've seen other armies do it. I've seen Forrest out here with 6 fucking units. He's going Land Raider Redeemer, 3 Terminator squads, the Calidus, the Lone Op Lieutenant, and some scouts. Okay, fuck. I guess I'll die, dog. And so it's kind of in that vein of we're green purge the foe. Think of it like that, right? So, I don't know. Try it out. Outlander Claw is going to be the one that I understand the least. It has never been a playstyle that's really meshed with me. It's not one to where I'm super fluent on the inner workings of it, right? There's a lot of things that I see to where it can be very strong, and there's a lot of times I look and I go, dog, nothing's happening here, right? I think, however, it having just natural access to Recon is very good. And then what we're going to pair it with today is Pure Strain Brood Swarm to give it access to priority assets as well. And this list, I feel like, can kind of do either. It's really up in the air, but I think you're in a strong spot. Let's get into the list real quick. We're going to start off with the Patriarch that is going to be joining 10 marked Pure Strains. Just to fill it out right now, I'll let you know we're doing 25 Pure Strains. All of them are marked. Playing around with the 5-mans that have the mark, well, the mark is very fucking expensive. Good lord. Why? It's worth it. Buying them back while they're marked, you keep the upgrade. And so when you buy back the 5 peers, they're still strength 5, toughness 5 with a 4-up armor. They're a lot more durable and they skirmish really, really well into other skirmish units. And just having a durable 5-man that can like live in Overwatch and just kind of jump around and either be for your recon or do you actions, anything like that. This unit's very nice. So continuing on, I'm going to put in 3 saboteurs and a Shanktus. I know the character support is actually pretty dense here. There's a world to where you take some of these out. Maybe we take out 1 saboteur and put in 5 tacos, just so we have, you know, a little bit of CP generation on our home point. But I think right now, I think this is fine. You're going to be having these in a bunch of different trucks or rock grinders. They kind of pop out. A lot of Outlander Claw is kind of standing in front of your opponent, blocking them from moving, and then, you know, doing chip damage and like standing on points behind that main force, right? You know, we have a saboteur sitting on the very back end of our natural expanse while the rest of our army tells them that they can stay the fuck over there, right? Now, talking about all these trucks and what's going to go in them, we have 4 5-man squads of Flacos. These are going to be going into not only some trucks, but we do have some rock grinders that we're going to be added. And, you know, let's just cut to the chase. We have 2 trucks here, and we have 3 rock grinders. I went a bit more dense on the rock grinders, but I think we end up kind of having this like semi-melee variant of Outlander Claw that's a little bit interesting to me. Priority assets and recon kind of can get shoved a bit. A lot of times the list archetypes aren't able to handle just a full, I'm throwing my whole army at you, and just having a little bit more lethality to at least look scary is very valuable to me. I will say, for what it's worth, there is a world to where we do want to make one of the 5-mans of Flacos into some metas just so we can scout one of the trucks. So it's a little bit less of a parking lot in our home point. But honestly, I also think if we just rapid ingress one of the rock grinders, we're in a very good spot. So moving on, we do have just 2 squads of Adelan Jackals. They're good for 85 points. I didn't want to take the 3rd squad because it goes up to 95, and that just feels very, ugh. I don't like paying my taxes, okay? I mean, I love paying my taxes. Stay the fuck away from me. They're good. Obviously, they're mandatory in this detachment. Of course, you know, you need to be able to sticky points, and, you know, that's how you're playing the game, by having the shit all tagged behind you while you're kind of keeping your opponent off of it, right? But I just don't like paying for that 3rd one. And we even see that with, I have 2 Ridge Runners. One with Spotter and one with Survey Auger. There's a lot of flamers in this list, so we don't super need it, but there's a lot of saboteurs, so I'd like to take away the, you know, the indirect penalty for them. So, yeah, that's honestly the list. It's a lot of something. Every time I look at an Outlander Claw list, I'm always like, what the fuck does this do? And then I watch it play, and I'm like, damn, that kind of does a lot. I don't know, dog. It's sticky stuff. It moves back, it says, hey, you gotta be on the point, and then it throws a bunch of shit at you that gives you mortal wounds, and then charges you and does mortal wounds, and then it has twin linked because you're on the point, and then it's just like, it's pocket sand damage, but it's a lot of pocket sand. It's a lot of deep pockets out here. I don't know, man. They put like fucking, holy shit, they put like Fent in this sand. I do not feel well. I need to go home. Okay, last but not least, is going to be, once again, and I will preface this, I do not have the most amount of experience with this detachment. There are other people that do a lot with it. I know Danny Porter? I always forget. Bald as well. There's so many bald. I swear to God, if you're a GSC player, you're either bald or you're gay. And I mean that positively, because guess which one I am. Okay, anyways, I digress. Going on into the Xeno build, okay? Because we are Xenos faction playing Xeno Krieg Congregation and Xeno Cult Masses. We have the Xeno build. It's great. Call it Triple X, dog. We are going to go and just have so many cheap 10-man units that we can bring back and just be a problem. There was another variant with some other stuff going on that I've been testing out with. And while the list of missions for WTC are already locked and that isn't going to matter, and we're not even taking this list, it's still something that I just want to hold off and like just perfect a little bit more, just to make sure that I'm not handing you guys bullshit, I say as I just gave you the Brood Brothers thing and the Biosynctic list. The Biosynctic list ain't bad. I think we just need to fucking. All right, listen. If you think the Biosynctic list is bad, and you've been running Muscle Beach, dog, Muscle Beach is literally you take out the 2 Neophyte squads, you put in another 10 man of Aberrants, and I know some of you motherfuckers have been doing that. I know you have been, so do not at me. Crazy. Anyways, moving on to Xeno Krieg. Can you tell my meds wore off? We are going to be going with 30 metas here. It's the one time I'm fine paying taxes. It kind of sucks, but we move on. Okay, they're going to be attached to an icon ward. At least the first one is. The second one is going to be attached to a Biophagus, a Primus, and is going to have the Inspired one, which I believe is the Advance in Charge. I know it's weird to not have on the Icon Ward squad because, you know, Scout, Get Out, Advance, Charge. Sure, that's a strong combo, but you don't have lethals, you don't have sustained. It's a little, you know, does that make sense? So I'd rather have it on a squad that can, like, you get me? I know that's a weird way to describe it, but just follow me here. And then our third squad is just going to be attached to a Biophagus. A lot of really good damage here. Having access to one, just natively +1 to hit from the Primus, it kind of helps not only with our delivery, in terms of Xeno Krieg in the melee phase is a little anemic in terms of its offensive strats. If you need to kill 2 things in 1 turn, it can get a little awkward, right? Because you only can do the +1 weapon skill and attack in 1 spot. And so having, like, you know, just, hey, +1 to hit is decent, is something. Plus, I think I just like the Primus just redeploys is good. I don't know, man. I miss my Primus. I haven't put him in any of my other lists. He just kind of fits here, okay? He's another guy that gets the full hit rerolls when they kill him. Ooh, sue me. Moving on. We have 3 10-mans of the Mining Tool Acolytes. They are dirt cheap right now for 130. They're dirt cheap because they're kind of poo-poo water, but they're still, it's just a 10 mana dudes that have a bunch of damage 3 attacks. Can those attacks bounce? Yes, but it's still something that your opponent has to consider, right? And with them being, you know, anti-vehicle 4-up, I never use this profile. That's what this data sheet is. It's got, why is it 2 attacks, dog? Anyways, I digress. A lot of tacos here. You can buy them back if you're going into stuff like Knights or anything like that. You're buying back a lot of these 10-mans and you're just being like, all right, each one kills a war dog. And it's great. To give a bit of range support on top of this as well, we're adding in 2 Bene Neos squads. One of them is actually going to have a Nexos with them as well, just to help with that CP cost of the full hit rerolls. As well, later on, you know, you can give them the advance and shoot, right? They're able to re-roll advances, and, you know, just being able to swing a Benny around, you aren't able to pick them up or anything like that, but they are still kind of fast. There is a world where a Neophyte squad can move 12 inches and then say, yeah, the Nexus says it's free to just give all of my guns assault. That's not half bad, you know? And then rounding out the list, we have 2 Ridge Runners, 2 trucks, and then a Magus that has deeds that speak to the masses so that we have the 12 resurgence points. You were either going to be in Recon, which I think is probably better for this build. If you wanted to take one of the 10-man squads, probably one of the 10-man taco squads, and bust it down into 2 5s. That way you can play priority a little bit better. That's fine. I still think with the trucks, you can just play priority pretty fine as it stands, if that makes sense. I understand that a lot of times you might also want to go for like a 3rd truck or whatever the hell. I think there's just with how cheap the squads are right now, the way I built this list, I wanted to prioritize having, let's just count here, right? We have the Icon Meta Squad, we have the Bio Primus Meta Squad, we have the Bio Meta Squad, we have the Bio Tools Squad, right? One of them is attached to a Bio, I don't know if I mentioned that. We have another 10 man of tacos. We have another 10 man of tacos. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. 3 plus 3 is not 7. 3 plus 3 is 6. We have 6 squads. And then we have 2 Neophyte squads. That's going to bring us into 8 damage pieces. 8 like trading, skirmish, go in, probably die on the crackbat, but just squads that do something, right? And then with up to 12 resurgence points, you're either buying back 40 neophytes, no you're not, or you're buying back 30 more acolytes somewhere, whether it be the metamorphs or the tacos. That's really good. The only thing I'd want to mess around with is just so we can have the points, maybe we take out the Magus and make one of the tool squads into Flacos, just so we have like an Overwatch to work with, that we have all 3 of the different acolytes to mess around with. I don't know. This one, once again, Xenocrete, it's like right there, man. They're so fucking dirt cheap, but they also don't really do much of anything. It's so weird. I'm looking at 8 bricks of damage. That is eventually at the end of the game going to be 11 bricks of damage, right? And I'm still just being like, huh, how do I kill anything, right? Like, that's weird to feel. I feel like that's weird to feel, but I don't think it's wrong to feel that. Does that make sense? Anyways, I digress. I think it's good. I think it is good. I don't know if it's the best thing to be doing in GSC, but this is not me saying that the list is bad. Sorry, I'm spiraling a bit here because I'm like, one, I've just been spiraling for WTC prep, and that's what my past couple days have been. But it's like, it feels like it's right there on being the best thing that GSC can do. But there's always just like one thing missing, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. I want to play around with it more, but I have other stuff to do. So it's going to take a couple months, probably, to be honest, until I can actually get to Xenocrete. In that time, though, please let me know, like, if you play this, try it out. What do you think? How do you feel about it? And, I don't know, man. Let me know. I want to figure it out. I want to see what this list can do. This is the one out of all of them I'm the most interested in, and I'm saying that with Swarmhost on the list. I know what Swarmhost does. I know that it's good. I know that it's going to do great damage. I know it's really cool. It's really fun, and a lot of my friends are going to be playing a game with me, going, "Fuck, man, why did they buff neophytes?" Right? And that makes me happy. But it's like right there, dog. And I just feel like there's something there. All right, the spidey sense, the floof senses are tingling. So someone go figure it the fuck out and let me know. In the meantime, though, that is going to be all I have for you today. I've tried to show up and give you six. Brood Brother, I'm so bad at counting to 6. As you can tell, the second hand for me, it's normally occupied, so it's a little difficult. We got Brood Brothers, we got Final Day, we got a Host of Ascension, we got Biosynctic, we got Xenocrete, and we got Outlander. Cool, 6 things. Why did I put Brood Brothers first? That should be at the back of the line. Try to give you 6 lists. That way you have something to go off of. That way you at least have something to where, if you're liking certain things, if you're like, hey dog, these neophytes are cool. Wow, these pure strains, these are sick. Whoa, look at all these acolytes. Wow. Oh my god, bikes. I'm in a used parking lot. I should have said that better. I don't know. Ooh, wow, look at all these bikes. I watched Mad Max one time and made it my entire personality. Right? Like, there's a lot of things to fall in love with. And so if you're liking these things, or at least want to explore these archetypes, or just for people who are new to the faction, here's a test list, right? Go try it out. Play with it. If you look at things and go, well, I don't have 20 Aberrants for this Biosynctic list, put in other stuff. Try it out. We're still, like, basically, in my eyes, we're still beta testing 11th edition, right? Like, I feel like that's a fair way to put it, right? This is the second month. We haven't even had the second patch, and we're doing all this shit, right? So there's this world where I don't have 20 Aberrants. I've got 10, and I've got 30 pure strains. Let's put in a bunch of pure strains, right? Let's see that volume. Maybe we go more tool acolytes because we want more of that damage tree. Biometas are also still very good to put in Biosynctic, but there's a little bit of crossover between them and Aberrants. So if your meta is very big on -1 damage, basically if Catan exists, you might not want to go too heavy in that, but it's still something to explore, right? I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. If you guys also are looking at it and going, dog, your Host of Ascension list is terrible, put what you think works down in the comments. And if you're not vibing with the list I give, go check the comments. Go see if someone else is messing with something and you like how it vibes with, right? I've also got a bunch of people in my Discord. It's still, I said that I was going to be closing it out. and you had to join by donating to the Patreon. I still haven't figured that out. I've just been so fucking busy. So it's still open. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to go, hop in. If for the people that have paid, if you're mad at me, I'm sorry. I will make it up to you. I love you. In that Discord server, there is a bunch of people constantly sharing lists, constantly sharing good ideas, constantly sharing bad ideas. I'm watching in there. I haven't been in there that much for the past week. I've been seeing some of the weird shit y'all been talking about. Anyways, I think this is a good starting point, okay? Prototype, blueprints on the wall. Let me know if you built the damn thing and went and tried it out. Let me know, because I am one person. And while I love this faction and want to do great things with this faction, I only have so many hours in the day, and I reserve about 4 of them to be stressed. So that doesn't leave me a lot of time out of that, okay? I wear a lot of hats. So that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, if you still are, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Roll that outro, baby. Woo!